Hello everyone and welcome to LSI F1 EU Championship, F1.5 EU Championship. We're today for round 12 out of 13, the Belgian Grand Prix. We're in qualifying. We are underway by quite some margin, so I do apologise for the delay. That is Frantic finishing their current lap of 42.0. They go very, very close to Peanuts. It's looking pretty competitive, which is surprising at a circuit like this. A long circuit compared to a short circuit, Zingy. What is the difference between a long circuit and a short circuit regarding lap times?
Well, I mean, of course, a longer track usually is going to have longer lap times, especially with, 19 corners this track has, something along those lines. So you're going to find lap times upwards of 1 minute 40, as you can see here. But the difference is the gap between different people. There's going to be some who are on pace, and you'll see some people who really struggle, because the pace deficit around this track so much, considering how much corners you need to go through. So it'll be a bit of a challenge for everyone. Time penalties are going to be an issue around this track. It is very easy to go over track limits in some areas, and I think that might catch some people out today.
What does that mean for the race situation? Does it allow for more overtaking, less overtaking, or does it not really make a difference?
Well, I guess in some ways it can permit more overtaking, because say someone's got a penalty ahead and you want to overtake them and put a car between you and the next person who doesn't have a penalty. That means you can gain such a big advantage in that sense, and even if that penalty isn't legit, you're still going to have that track position anyway, so it's difficult to say whether it will help overtaking or not, but I think this track yields itself to good racing in the first place, so we shouldn't see too many issues.
Awesome. We're on board with Dave Raptors, who is not on a lap right now. He's on an out lap, but he has joined late to the session, so only going to get, yet again, 1 lap really in qualifying. I think he might get a bit more time, but he's still got to complete this out lap first.
No, he's got 1 lap only.
1 lap only, so this is the 3rd week in a row, I think, that he's going to have 1 lap only to try and get up the order, which does not make it easy, but as we were just talking about, it's a long lap, so he might have opportunities to make overtakes. We will find out a little bit later on. Lots of people in the pit lane at the moment and waiting to go out. It's not that easy to do laps, in laps, out laps, and get everything done. You do get less chances of getting good qualifying runs around this circuit, so you have to make absolutely everything count. And then we will go and see what the championship winner can do today, Zingy. You are the other championship winner this season. Would you be able to take us for a lap around this circuit as you got pole yesterday?
Yeah, I'll try my best. Coming into the last corner, you'll see he'll probably go towards the right hand side a bit. Not really. Surprisingly, he didn't do it on the lead pedal as early as you possibly can. Coming up towards turn 1, La Sauce. This is somewhat a hairpin, and it's very difficult to get right. You want to brake around 75 metres, missing the apex slightly, but you can still carry some of the speed through. Coming down and towards Rouge and Radion now, you're going to be going around about 180, flat to the floor around this high speed corner. There's so much downforce, you can just take it 8th gear flat. 187 mile an hour he's going through up there. DRS enabled, going down the Camel straight, and you're going to see speeds upwards of 330 k's, even 40 if you're lucky. And coming into the calm now, he's purple in the first sector, misses the apex in the first part of the chicane, but keeps it pulled up for the next part and trying to get the car rotated in, but there's a lot of looseness in the car coming into the hairpin, and you can just see the understeers chronic, so maybe using low downforce setup, and no name is absolutely fine for him. And coming into Puon with that low downforce, it may be quick coming into the corner, but struggling. Perhaps no, he's actually got the car nicely pulled up there as well. Coming into the middle sector chicane, and he's gone wide once again, maybe feeling the pressure of this long lap, and there's a car ahead of him perhaps distracting him as he's coming through the last few corners now over the track limits, but doesn't gain an advantage, therefore he won't get an invalidation. Coming now towards the bus stop chicane in just a moment's time. Is he going to get subsumed from that car ahead? I'm not too sure, but he's going to keep it flat around here, and this car does need to get out of the way though. It is blocking a little bit. It's a Haas of, I think that is Tom Brayna, just staying out of the way before starting his lap. Dave Raptors anyways out the final corner up to the line, and it's only going to be 6th place for the champion.
That is it. Peanuts, he's looking for another pole position this season. Can he get it done in the Aston Martin? We have got a long way to go until they set their lap. Can we go and jump on board with Frantic, who, nope, they're on an out lap. I want to see somebody finish their qualifying run. And I think Jeremy is starting. We've got the Alfa Romeo Flexard. They are starting. We've got a Ferrari. Could be JJ here. We could go to JJ, or is that going to be Gilly that is finishing a lap? No, it is JJ finishing a lap right now, as Gilly is also going to be finishing, but a little bit later on. Here we go, though. The first or second driver to finish qualifying for now. JJ goes across the line, out the final corner. DRS available, absolutely spent on the battery. And that's P9 for now, 42.0. 5-place grid penalty for Oggio for illegal blocking. Where is he on the circuit at the moment? So, I don't know what's happened there. He's been in front of the Mercedes driver. Is that going to be Jeremy? No, it's not. It's Gunter. So, Oggio somehow has got a penalty for that, which isn't exactly the fairest of situations, but it is what it is. I don't really know what you can say about that one.
Not much really. I did see on the mini-map actually that there were some people in the midst of the middle sector just getting a bit close to each other. Perhaps maybe that's what it is. As Peanuts sets a 2-10 improvement of 41.8. That is provisional pole at the moment. He's done qualifying frantic, is 1.5 tenths up through the middle sector. So do you think he'll be able to improve and get a pole position, or do you think Peanuts has got it as Becking goes up into P2?
Definitely has the potential to do it. Tom Brainer to P3, a phenomenal job from him. Frantic now coming into the final sector. He is going to be the next one to set a lap time. Peanuts, yes, he's still not finished qualifying, but he has set his final lap. So close to track limits is the AlphaTauri across the line for the final time. Will he be able to challenge? And he will not. 41.9, and I didn't realise, but the two Swedes have actually gone and got exactly the same lap time in qualifying. We've got Oggio, who might be able to make this a Swedish 1, 2 and 3. Will it work out though? We will find out as we come into the sector line. He does have a car in front of him that hopefully will move out the way, and they will move out the way. Very, very nicely done. And in the final sector, we will be coming through. We do have Lara, who's also on the lap, so both Red Bulls here to finish their qualifying session. And I believe, no, it's Gunter as well. This is going to be it. We will stay on board with Oggio now, though. This is what Sweden want. Can they get the job done? They got the 1, 2, 3 in Brazil, I believe. Just wasn't quite on the screen, unfortunately, as there was a bit of a technical issue. That is Larlick across the line. Oggio to make it a 1, 2, 3. And he can! He goes pole position! He goes pole position! That's phenomenal! Gunter to P10. And that is an incredible job. Oggio on pole position for the first time. Peanuts limps into the pit lane. Such a shame from him. But wow, he found 2 tenths in front of everybody there at the final stages. Perfect job from him.
The only thing that's a massive kick in the nuts is he's got that 5-place grid penalty, so that's going to demote him to P6. But what a lap by Oggio. You never really expected it from him. He's always went about P3 and 4, but he's propped up in the last moment there and snatched pole position away from his compatriot Peanuts.
What a shame. What a shame. It's nothing that we can do, unfortunately, so he is just going to have to take that, even if it's not his fault or not. But, you know, you still got that pole position to your name, even if you didn't start at the front. So a 41.628, not too bad at all. And it'll look pretty good in the results when we'll see it in a minute. You'll just see yellow and blue on the screen all over the place. Alright, hold on a second. Okay, all good. We're sorted. We'll get the results on the screen. It's raining at the end of qualifying, believe it or not, actually, as we see the AI cars taking control. I don't think it's going to be wet for the race at all, though. That is qualifying. Oggio on pole position. Temporarily, Peanuts will take that, and Becken in P3. Then we go through the rest of the grid if we can. Race director, of course, as always, and then we'll go into the instant section and the pit stops, and we'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. The sprint race. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn 1? Oggio does start on pole position. We've got Peanuts into P3, and they will stay as they are. They've got a fellow countryman right there, the fellow countryman whereabouts. He goes off the circuit, that's where he is. Now he's going to drop down the order, and Aston Martin is also going to drop even further down as we got Tom Brainer into P2 and Frantic holding that P3 spot. Will he be able to jump up in front of the Haas driver? That's a phenomenal start from Oggio there. He's running away with it.
Yeah, we see Peanuts coming into the column now. He's side by side with the AlphaTauri Frantic. Who's going to be last on the brakes? It looks like it's even coming into the chicane now. A bit of contact, and that's Frantic spun around. He's losing a whole host of positions. Beckham has to take avoiding action, and now he's going to be all over. Peanuts coming into the hairpin now. Will he get the moves done? No, further back it looks as though Dave Raptors has had a little bit of a swapper in the rear end, and again he's really struggling for traction. Perhaps he can't get the tyres fired up, and the Armor is looking for a move but can't seem to make it at the moment.
Perfect job from Dave Raptors. He needs a little bit more if he wants to find his way through though. JJ in P7, which is a great job from him as well. Gilly to P11. I don't exactly know where they started. Terence is driving in the McLaren, but they are scoring points for Aston Martin. They'll be in the Aston Martin for the sprint. That's more lag issues, unfortunately, for Dave Raptors. We will be making a pit stop in this race at some point, so these tyres will be changing. He's on the mediums compared to the softs. Lots of other people are starting on the usual soft tyre strategy. Now we're going to come to the end of lap 1. It's a lot longer than most laps, so it does feel like lap 2 already, but I'm sure it will go by very, very quickly, very, very soon. Flexard running P5. I thought they had Jeremy, who is brand new to the league, following closely behind. Not so close. That is going to be a Williams off the circuit. Unfortunately, that's Jaromir dropping down the order, and Frantic finally makes his way up through the grid a little bit as he gets past Dave Raptors, who's had a pretty big issue.
I think perhaps the Armor and Dave Raptors have had a bit of coming together, and therefore they've both dropped down. The champion, Dave Raptors, down in P16, and the Armor dropping down out of the top 10, so that's unfortunate for him. But looking towards the front, there's not many changes, although it looks as though Jeremy might be looking for a move on. Flexhard coming into the column once again, but it doesn't seem like so. He's got the straight line speed at the moment. He's just going to stay behind and wait for his opportunity. It looks as though Fico has gone for the move though on Norlick, and he's actually made it stick before he got to the corner, so good job by Fico making his way up the order. He has raced here before, but it was a long while ago, and he's showing what he can do nowadays.
Higher tier driver, he will score a different point system, so he just needs to make sure he picks everybody off in a orderly manner. Cohen as well will be doing exactly the same thing, so these guys are going to be not taken out of the equation, but they do need to be considered when you do look at the results. Of course, they will start wherever they finish though in the sprint race, so they will be starting in different positions for the main race. It's only qualifying that they are suspended from temporarily. Okay, so Gunter, he's going to be the next one up on Cohen's list, and he's going to get him on exit. We've got, is that Jeremy, you say?
Jeremy, he's going to go down the inside of Flexhard. Oh, and it's a bit of a squeeze on there coming through. Launch him on now, and it looks so he's just made the move stick and into the bus stop. He's going to get late on the brakes, and it looks so Flexhard's just going to have to slot behind, and that's Jeremy up into the top 5 on debut, doing a great job so far.
Solid job, already up there and into bigger points positions. I'm stating that absolute obvious. We've got Cohen go for the fastest lap as he still tries to push his way through, but pushing a little bit too far over track limits, like I said earlier on. Got to be careful because it's so easy to get it at this circuit that if you rack him up early on, then you're probably going to rack up another one and then be in big trouble. Tom Brainer doing a phenomenal job, and they're already going to be challenging for the lead. DRS Open for the first time this evening. That is Tom Brainer into the lead of the Grand Prix, legitimately on pace, not on strategy, on pace. He is making it work. What a man this season. He's made so much progress, going from a DNF in race 1, now he's in the sprint race towards the end of the season, and he's leading a Grand Prix. Oggio, I have to say, he's not doing a bad job at all, but what a move from Tom Brainer. Peanuts in P3 after looking for that pole position earlier on. Terence retires and a safety car is deployed. Where did he retire the car? In the pit lane?
No, that was Dave Raptors just exiting. It looks so he has crashed in the exit the hairpin, perhaps just losing traction or making contact. I never really caught it, but that actually allows Ballot and Dave Raptors back into this fight. And now, remember the F1 race, we've seen Flaw or TS Horseman. however you want to call him. He came into the pits, put on a new set of soft tyres, and gained upwards of 4 or 5 seconds around against the people around him. Do you reckon that some people might take that gamble here too, or do you reckon it's not worth the risk? But I say, considering it happened to me and it was such a big difference, that people almost need to pit.
Definitely depends on the top two. If it's P1 pits and P2 pits, well, Tom Brayner's now screwed because that is Ogier making that decision. It just depends if others follow through and how many others follow through. And a lot of people are going to be going for that trap position. Is Cohen? Cohen is going to be going for that trap position. We're going to get a wall of people. Gunter. So that is 9 cars in the way, and that's not bad at all. Considering, but I don't know. We'll see. Ogier's going to be pretty rapid. It's not going to be easy to make those moves. Tom Brayner, he's going to be loving life for now. He needs to nail the restart though, and hope that he doesn't get fought too hard by Peanuts and Beckham. Peanuts and Beckham though, they will be helping each other, so maybe they can bring Tom Brayner into their equation and work together to get a 1-2-3. It might be possible.
Now, what I find a bit confusing is I know that the soft tyres are absolutely rapid, but if you take Oggio into the equation, that means he's got 9 cars in between him and Tom Brayner, and I reckon that Oggio, although Tom just overtook him, might have a tad more pace in the car to try and get that win because his battery was looking a bit better. And although Tom Brayner overtook, I think Oggio still had that advantage on the ERS, so he could have just stayed behind and then waited for the DRS and shot past him. But if he feels like this is the chance for him to get a sprint win, add to his add to his 1 win, then you might as well go for it. The safety car should be in at the end of next lap, is it, or this lap?
It will be in, I'm going to say, this lap. Never mind. No, he's a little bit further away than I thought, so it's going to be next lap. So it's going to have 3 laps to catch up to the cars in front. So that's going to be just a bit over 3 cars per lap that he needs to overtake, which is never going to be easy. And of course, getting behind a car is one thing, but overtaking is another. And regarding an aggressive strategy that Ogier has, he needs to use his energy as well, a bit more than the other guys who will be trying to ration it towards the end, just splitting it up over those 3 laps. So Ogier is going to have a really, really hard time at making this work. He's got a couple of drivers that aren't on old, they're not really on that old softs either, so they're going to be pretty quick. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be really, really tough.
Of course it will, but he's got to take that opportunity and grasp it. I mean, the tyre wear around this track is, I'd say it's fairly balanced, obviously, because how long the track is. But a lap and a bit on those soft tyres and you're touching like 7-8%. So it's going to be very difficult for these guys to keep the tyres in check when you've got someone on fresh soft tyres, full ERS, and a lot of confidence in the car coming at you at 200 mph an hour. So it's going to be difficult for these guys, but I think if they just remain perhaps just civilised and normal, I think they can still come out on top.
It is easier said than done, of course, because you may not have that intention, but if you get a glimpse of one car making a mistake and being weaker, you'll want to get through. The other car will be like, no, it was only a mistake, don't do that. That's Dave Raptors into the pit lane again, interestingly, so I'm not entirely sure why he's doing that, but we will be restarting before we get to the main race, so, you know, he can use as many tyres as he wants, really, so it's not actually a bad idea. From Dave Raptors. He's now going to be on the freshest tyres that anyone has on the grid. We'll see how it goes for him, of course. Oggio, last week's race winner. They have a lot of motivation, momentum from last time around in Hungary. It should be good for them. Tom Brayner's got a lot of hunger to get through.
Sorry, I just seen Dave Raptors catching up to the safety car and he almost done what I done a few seasons ago and absolutely clattered into that wall, but maybe just pushing a bit too much. And perhaps, what do you think the issue is? Because he can be overheating, and perhaps it may be underheating, because I can tell you for a fact that the tyres do require quite high pressures on this track to run optimally.
He has just come out the pit lane, so I would assume he was just maybe misjudging how the car was going. Also, if you are running slightly slower than usual, when you get back onto the throttle pedal, it is going to feel slightly different because you're not carrying the usual amount of speed that you would be if you were to be driving the car. So maybe it's just a bit of a overpower moment there, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but if you know, you know. Anyway, we'll go through the sector line and then we will be going for the restart of the Belgian Grand Prix. We've got Tom Brainer in P1 and we've got Peanuts reacting in P2. When will he go for it? The safety car is just going to go through Blanchimont right now, and then we will have just a few moments to get ready. Everybody anticipating that Haas car going for the restart. They're not into the bus stop chicane yet, so they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Of course, everybody has to wait until they get across the start-finish line to actually make any overtakes. The two Swedish drivers right behind are really trying to jump on this one, and Tom Brainer goes for the restart. He reacts very, very nicely compared to the other cars. The perfect job from him. That is a green flag, and we will see how this goes. No one making any overtakes, I really, really hope. Before we get into the bus stop chicane, we are going to get somebody side by side, and that's not ideal, but they do fizzle out eventually. And then we will get to turn one. Will Cohen have a look to the inside? I think he might have a go. No one's going to have a go, but it is going to be Oggio having a look to the inside of the Mercedes driver. They'll get him on exit, a little bit aggressive. They've just about made it work. They've got a big gap to the cars in front, and they're going to have a lot of work to do if they want to make progress for the rest of the field. Side by side through a Rouge with the Ferrari of Gilly, and Gunter, and making it 3 wide on exit is Jaromir. There's a big crash. The Ferrari is out, and that was never going to work, to be honest. It's not going to be a safety car, as we've just come in from a safety car, so they will be running as they are, and they're going to have to hope that there isn't any more damage from this.
Yeah, quite a lot of cars having a bit of issues at the moment. As we've seen back up the field a little bit, I've seen Fleckard and Gilly having a bit of a battle. Jaromir is now retired from the session. Fleckard getting overtaken by the Ferrari on those old soft. It looks as though he just managed to get the traction down, which is something that kind of confused me considering how old those tyres are. As we see Fleckard having a massive crash, and that is Fico taken out with him, and into Pouon. He just lost his car and he's taken poor Fico with him, and that's them two also out of the equation for this race. So under the restart there seems to be a lot of incidents, a lot of issues for people. And now Oggio, how far is he off the lead? He is 5.8 and he's only got 2 laps to go. He really needs to get ahead of Fleckard coming into the last corner now. The rest of the field, you can see up front, it's separated by only around about a second. Peanuts really trying to force his way through, and it looks as though Jeremy's actually going to go up the inside. Will he make it stick? Coming out the bus stop chicane on the traction nicely, powering out, no spin whatsoever on the ERS, and it looks so into the sauce. He's got it, but it looks as though the Alpine's challenging him back.
They've got Cohen to keep him company behind so they can't make too many mistakes. Hopefully there's going to be no more crashes. It would be not great if a higher tier driver did cause an incident, but they're going to be looking to try and make the move anyway, as they are pushing on the energy, but so is the Alpine to have another go at making a move. No DRS here to any driver on the circuit at the moment, so it's pure slipstream and there won't be any overtakes. There's a big mistake from the Alpine, and Cohen will be going around the outside off the circuit, makes the move. It's going to be a bit questionable, but he's got it done, and Beckham wasn't willing to fight it. He knows the situation points-wise.
Yeah, Beckett just trying to take it easy coming into the last few laps. It looks as though Jeremy's actually made his way into a podium position. Tom Brainer making a mistake out of no name and into Pouon. That's going to put him under a bit of pressure from winning the race. It looks so, I don't know if it's tired or he's just a bit nervous, but he's already dropped 1 second. 2 Peanuts, and Jeremy is going to be all over the back of the Haas driver come the final lap.
Indeed he will be. Is it going to be an opportunity for him to win his first ever race? I'm not sure, because Peanuts is breaking away a little bit right now. He's doing a perfect job of it so far. We've got Oggio in P7 right behind Gilly. They're going to be looking to make the move already before Blanchimont, and he will be now trying to use that momentum to get a slingshot towards the rest of the field. But 2.4 seconds on straight line when everybody else in front of you are close together is going to be incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to actually catch up on. We've got Dave Raptors looking to go round the inside of Frantic. He gives him space. He's slow on the apex, and that is unfortunately Flexard misjudging that one. He is going to return the position to Dave Raptors, who will rejoin in P11 right behind the pack, but Frantic will be in P8 and they stay as they are. Everybody will stay as they are. We go with the top runners now onto the final lap of the Grand Prix. Jeremy is going to be looking to try and get a move back on Cohen, as that was unfortunately him not able to get a slingshot to catch up to the top two. Tom Brainer will not be fighting for the win. Cohen will go through. Jeremy's going to have to settle for P3 for the EU drivers, and Becken down in P5 drops away. Gilly, Frantic's made a mistake as Gilly's through.
Yes, Augie also made a mistake spinning, and there seems to be a lot of mistakes happening on this final lap. Peanuts is actually being caught by Tom Brain a little bit, and Jeremy's right behind him. Oh no, sorry, that's Cohen right behind him. Jeremy only a few tenths behind as well. This is going to go right down to the line, perhaps, Aaron. I think coming into the bus stop chicane, if he gets a good exit and the slipstream is used well, is actually no, he's made a mistake. I don't know what Tom Brain is doing. He's caught up on the curb a bit. He's trying to defend from Jeremy. He's losing all the marbles, and it looks as though Jeremy could be on for not a P3 but a P2 in the sprint coming through the last few corners. Now nothing's going to challenge Peanuts, but looking at these two, who's going to get it?
Here we go for the final moments, the final few corners. Jeremy right behind. Can he get it on Tom Brainer? It would have to be a hell of a send. Tom Brainer's just about done enough. We're going to come around the final few corners, and for the second time, we will see Peanuts take a win in LSI. Peanuts wins the sprint race in Belgium. Cohen in P2. Tom Brainer gets P2 overall. Jeremy podium on debut in a sprint race. Not bad at all. We've got Becken, Frantic P5, and then we've got Oggio, who unfortunately did not make it work, and Lalek, their teammate, was so close behind them in the end. A phenomenal job from Lalek today, finishing and taking that final, well, not final point. Gilly takes the final point of the EU drivers in the sprint race. Then we got Ballant, Dave Raptors not able to score any points, Flexard, Vico, and Gunter.
Yeah, I mean, what a race. There's a lot of stuff going on in general. Peanuts takes the home the win. Tom Brainer seemed to struggle with something towards the end. Jeremy kept it very clean and made that overtake back on Becken, I think it was, earlier on in the race to secure that podium position. And there's a lot of mistakes for Becken. Frantic had a bit of contact earlier on. Cohen with the penalties. Oggio, I'm not sure what happened to Oggio. He retains P7 just over his teammate Larlock. And it was all a bit of a mess in that final lap. But as Gunter comes over the line, that's the end of the sprint race.
What a race to start the evening. We'll get into the main race, I say somewhat shortly. We'll be as quick as we can because we will have to restart the lobby, of course, for the tyre situation bugs, just to prevent any chances of it occurring. So we'll get the results now. Peanuts takes the win. Tom Brainer in P2 and Jeremy in P3. That's Becken, Frantic, Cohen, Oggio, Larlock, Gilly, Ballant, Dave Raptors, and then we have Fico, Gunter finishing off the grid. Yarmir and JJ with Terrence also DNFing earlier on. We're going to skim through the race director just as quickly as we can. The instance section. And, of course, as always, the pit stops will be back for the race. We will see you in a bit once we get one final skim through the results. And then we'll be gone for good. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, good luck everyone. We'll be racing very, very shortly. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We are finally away. Peanuts on pole position. Tom Brady in P2. Can he get it? No, he will not. That's a perfect start from the pole man there on the soft tyre, interestingly. Trying to make it work like they did yesterday. Perfect job from him. It's squirmy at the back. There's so many cars side by side. They'll go up the hill. Hopefully they'll single file. They will single file eventually, and that is what we want to see. Phenomenal job. We have got, is that the AlphaTauri going for the overtake? They had a lot of overspeed as they were coming up the hill and over the hill. They will now have a go at looking to the inside of the Alpine. No switches for the front, and they will not get the move done. The Red Bull, is that Larlett going for the move here? He's going to have a look at the Williams possibly. That would be Cohen. It's not going to be possible for him though.
Looks as though Flex are just making the move up into P9 on balance. Some people will actually do a lot of variety. There's soft, medium and hard tyres throughout the field. You see Dave Raptor's further behind, dropping back. But looking further ahead, Oggio, that 5th place grid penalty dropped him from P7 all the way to P12, and he stayed there on at the end of lap, well, halfway through lap one I should say. A bit of a mistake coming out of Huon, and will that allow JG to have a move? No, it won't, but it looks so Ballon and Fico have a bit of a contact. Ballon just understeered wildly into Fico's way, and Gilly getting overtaken by Flexhard now. A bit more contact. I think Gilly might have some damage.
Unfortunately, going to be dropping down the order early on. We've got Becken and Frantic finally switching positions as they were looking to, and Cohen is sitting right behind them. So those Dutchmen are trying to make some positions, and Cohen having a quick look to just scare the Alpine, but they will stay as they are. Gilly, does he have that damage? He's still getting challenged. I think maybe he just had a bit of damage momentum rather than actual full damage. Peanuts leads the way onto lap 2. 1.3 seconds is the gap. He's doing everything that he needs to, and he's going to be running away from his countryman of Becken, who wants to try and work together, but it's not going to be possible this time around.
It looks as though Jeremy got a good exit off of Lasource, and look at the speed from the Mercedes, flying past Tom Brenner on the same tyre. Looks as though he's just got a better exit. He's up into P2. Cohen going for the move on Beckham. Beckham gets back into the slipstream. He's going to look to the outside, but that's blocked off nicely by Cohen. That's Jeremy up into P2 and Cohen into the top 5.
Lovely jubbly indeed. We've got Gilly and Flexstad. They're staying as they are. We've got the Alpine so close to the back of Gilly, almost making contact. There's a switch up here. We've got Frantic losing the position, or were they gaining the position on Cohen?
Tom Brainer lost the back end coming out of the exit of the column, and that gave Frantic a little bit of a sniff up the inside, but Tom managed to defend it, and he needs to stop making these little mistakes, otherwise he will fall down the order, and it's going to be a little downward spiral, and that's not what you want to see. He just needs to calm down and close back up to Jeremy, perhaps uses the DRS for a lap or two, and then get it back into his comfort zone. But at the moment, Frantic is putting him under pressure on that soft compound tyre, and it might only be a short amount of time before he makes that move.
He's got to make it. He's got to make it soon, because you want to make the most of this tyre. That's Oggio down the order, and a safety car is going to be deployed, a virtual safety car at least. We're going to go and have a quick look, if we can, at what has happened to Oggio. Dave Raptors has, he hasn't made a pit stop. He is just unfortunately down the order. But Oggio, a full front wing loss, and he's going to make that pit stop. Peanut's going for that pit stop, interestingly. We'll try and get the strategy up on screen. And what do you think he's doing here?
Well, Peanuts, well, he's on that soft tyre. Depends what tyre he's going to go into. If he's going to mediums, he's going to do another stop onto the softs later on, which he will do. And he thinks he's got the pace and the motivation and everything else to just push for that race win. He's going to be on a bit fresher tyres. He's going to come out just ahead of Ballon, and now he's going to try his best to push on and try and win the race from here with a bit of fresher tyres. So I'm not too sure what his motives are, but if you can get good pace at the start, then the other guys are going to battle for position. He could still have a chance, and he's not lost that much time out of VSE. He's only, let's see, he's only 13 seconds off the lead compared to your 19 you'd usually have around this track.
So, do you think Oggio or Peanuts has a better chance at winning this race from this lap right now? Where we are, where the positions are?
Peanuts. I reckon Peanuts has got the advantage. Thankfully, as we get underway, there's no people getting a driver penalty. Jeremy leads actually from Tom Brainer in P2. Maybe Tom will feel a bit more comfortable considering this is for the lead and there's no more cars around him. He seems to have found a bit of space behind him in terms of Frantic not being there. But again, he's touched the grass. He's scared, he's nervous. I don't know what's going on with him. He was going so well, and that is him actually in the wall and out the race. I kept on talking about it, and there's another VSC deployed. What did I say? I said he was nervous. He kept on making these small mistakes, and if he does, well, I didn't expect this to happen to him, but he's out the race.
Such a good performance in the sprint, and a phenomenal performance yet again at the start of quite a few races, and it's just not worked out for him. So that is another early retirement right there, and he's not very happy. You can see his expression in the chat. He is very, very, very disappointed with that result. I think that's probably an understatement. Nobody's going into the pit lane yet. I am very, very surprised at that. We've got a Ferrari diving in. That will be Gilly looking for a slightly different strategy. Zingy, would you pit at this stage? Would you try and go all the way to the end on the hards?
No. I think medium soft is such a better strategy to do. However, Gilly is going to go onto those hard tyres. Maybe... Well, I guess you can work both ways, but it just depends on your pace on the hard tyre. You need to be very quick, and the soft and medium overall obviously going to be much quicker around the track, where there's about 19-20 corners, and the lap times are so big that you can gain a lot of time. We've seen Flaw making about 2 seconds as the restart has happened. But yeah, I'll just finish my point. Never mind. We can see Cohen, he's made the move on Frantic out of the column and caught napping on the restart, and that's what happens. You can just lose a bit of concentration, and that's Frantic that's Cohen up into P3, Frantic Cohen on the P2, Frantic into P3 with Beckham behind, looking for an overtake perhaps on that hard tyre.
Lovely job. Got it out in the end. We had a bit of a switch up further behind as well. I can't quite remember who made what, but it was around about P9 to P12. There was a little bit of a shuffle up. We've got just behind, is that Flexstars looking for a move on Larlick? I can't quite remember. My eyesight and my memory just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. He is going to go for the inside line as FICO. That was very, 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 very late. That was Flexstars not really realising that was happening until the last minute.
Here comes Cohen.
Bumped him out, and Cohen will now go through. Can he get the lead? He will get the lead, pretty straightforward. And I think Jeremy's probably just going to have to sit there and work together. He will not be fighting at this stage of the Grand Prix. On equal tyres, so if he can sit in his DRS, that would be phenomenal for him. But that's easier said than done.
Yeah, Jeremy has actually a full battery, so he's doing very well at the moment. Coming into turn 1, he's just going to have to just stay behind for the moment. Holding with that 5 seconds, which probably won't be removed, as Jeremy pits from P11. What tyres will be going on to? I think it's a bit odd that he's pitting this early, however. It looks so he might be actually replacing a front wing by the looks of things. Never mind. No, I'm not too sure what's going on there. We'll cut back to the battle of Flexhard and FICO. Once again, these two having a bit of a scrap. Is backing up the road. He's made a move, and Flexhard on FICO into the column once again. A bit more contact made between these two drivers. It looks so Flexhard's being pushed right up to the track limits, just keeping it in. FICO gets pushed up onto the curb, coming into the hairpin. Will he outbrake him? No, FICO gets it around the outside. It looks so Flexhard is going to push his way back through somewhat. Coming into no-name and just on the exit. Yeah, he squeezed out. He has no room there. It's a tad aggressive and a tad clumsy, but he's made the move, and that's him up into P6.
Eventually got through. Flexar's not going to be happy. It was hard racing. On the exit, they luckily didn't both go, well, I say into the wall, but they went up to the wall as he tried to squeeze him out. Whether he stayed in track limits, though, I think that's probably up for debate. And that is going to be a Ferrari into the wall. In the background, JJ will go down the order, and he's going to definitely have front wing loss. I'm very surprised that he's still in the Grand Prix after that one. That will be a full safety car eventually deployed. And Zingy, you're surely going for a pit stop now.
Yeah, you go for a pit stop now. For the leaders on the medium tyres, a little bit more difficult, but if you do want to pit, you'd go for the hard tyres. Jeremy and Cohen are going to be in. Beck, of course, has no choice but to stay out. You'll see everyone in the soft and medium go hard, and you'll see the hard runners. Well, you've kind of shot yourself in the foot here, unintentionally, of course. They never knew the safety car was going to come out. And it was due to JJ's front wing coming off, but when Tom Brayner retired with a wheel off and bits and pieces flying everywhere, it was only a VSC. So I don't know how that's working within the game's logic, but someone who's going to gain positions-wise out of all this is going to be Gunter. How far will he make it up the field? It looks as though he's going to get into the top 5. And remember how dreadful Mercedes' season has been this season, as he gets just ahead of Larlick in the P5. He's had a lot of issues, especially with incidents, and his teammate Gibby, of course, was breaking his hand, and Mercedes' season hasn't gone too well. But a P5 at the moment, if he could just stay there, then he could still be on for a good result.
Lots of drivers going hard for the safety car. I know they like Formula 1, but they can't be too keen. They've got to be careful. Anyway, sorry. Jeremy in P2, doing a phenomenal job on debut. Becken, 5-lap-old hard tyres. They haven't made a pit stop, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I'm counting that right. They haven't made a pit stop. So, disadvantage, yes. Not much of a disadvantage, though, so they should be okay. Yeah, we'll find out how that goes. And the soft tyre for Yarmer at the back of the grid. I don't know how well that will work, but you never know. It could change. And it's a long race. We could definitely get more safety cars. I don't think this is going to be the final strategy that we'll be looking at right here.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Yarmer on the soft, and you can also see JJ, Ballon, Fix Hard, and Frantic on the medium. Everyone else has got a hard on. I mean, he's got hards on. So that's going to be a bit different in terms of strategy. These medium tyres will be very good at the start of the stint for the first 4 or 5 laps, but then you'll see that hard tyre just come to life and just help everyone else who's on that tyre propel themselves up the order. So it's going to be quite an interesting race towards the end, and especially with Becken on that tyre, who hasn't pitted, I believe, as you said. so he's going to have to make a pit stop onto what tyre, probably the soft, round about lap 17 to the end of the race.
Brilliant, 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 brilliant. All right, we'll be going racing at the end of the next lap, so that'll be lap 7 going on to lap 8, and Beckham will be the one to go for the restart. A bit of a yellow flag moment now in the final sector. Under yellow flags? I don't know. Double yellow flag, triple yellow flag or something. Everyone was going quite slow at the exit of the final chicane. I think that just might be the safety car. It's a GT car after all. It doesn't have the same performance as a Formula 1 car. It can't quite go as fast through the corners. Frantic. He needs to make sure that he gets a good run on that restart. Of course, you are relying on the other cars in front to also react well, so you know, we'll see. But Cohen's fast, he might be able to make a bit of a path for Frantic, and of course Becken's slightly older tyres, so it's going to be interesting. That's a more issued for Mercedes, as that'll be Gunter unfortunately spinning up a Rouge. I don't know how that's happened there.
I would say cold tyres, but also no, it is the hard tyres. Perhaps he just lost all his grip and had a bit of an issue there, but unfortunately for Gunter, he's lost a lot of that track position. He was in P5 at the time, did the P14, and he must be absolutely fuming on the alternate strategy, trying to make it work out, and it just hasn't gone well for him this season. And I'll say it again, Mercedes having rotten luck. Once again, these guys cannot catch a break. I don't know where they are in the constructors, but it's not looking good for them at the moment.
Really, really tough. Hard tyre, as you said. I think a lot of people are trying to warm up their tyres, weaving left and right, and sometimes it can just be dropped. Now he will have warm tyres, but he's lost so many valuable positions. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to jump his way up the order. At this point, he might as well have just pitted anyway. But yeah, it is what it is. So we'll see. Becken is going to be leading the way. We've got a couple more corners until we'll get the confirmation that we'll be going for the restart of the Belgian Grand Prix. Frantic, Flexard wants to watch Ballant also on that medium tyre, and so is JJ. Fresh softs for Jaromir, which is going to be interesting. And Dave Raptors has gone for the latest possible pit stop, as he did in the sprint race. Will he be able to make his way through the grid on lap 7 out of 22, going on to lap 8? As we said earlier on, we go on board with the Alpine driver, and they've got the Mercedes of Jeremy. He is a reserve driver. Mercedes have got someone to try and represent them up the front at the moment, and hopefully Gunter can join them. That would be great to see. Now, Beckham, when will he go for it? The safety car's still on its way, so he can't go yet. I'm assuming he'll probably communicate with Peanuts, although Peanuts can't really do too much about it. Of course, he still needs to wait for the rest of the pack to get through. Safety car into the pit lane now. He can go at any point from now on, unless he's going to leave it late. He might wait until after Blanchamont. No, he goes before. He's gone for the restart, and that's a brilliant reaction there from Jeremy in the Mercedes, and Cohen is going to be sat there as well. Didn't react as well, so Frantic's not going to be too happy with that. All of a sudden there's a gap that will allow the two in front to relax, but it will be quickly snatched up as Cohen brakes as late as he possibly can to gain all that time back. So phenomenal job from those guys there. The restart is pretty tidy, as we believe for now. There's a bit of a gap, and there's a bit of a kerfuffle further behind. We've got JJ and Peanut switching positions. Peanut's on the inside. He now gets a better exit, and he's going to be looking at Ballant if he can.
Jeremy up our Rouge and radio now. Look at, he's actually touching the Alpine. Cohen is going to go to the left hand side and overtake both of them with the overspeeds on the Mercedes and Alpine. Jeremy going to tuck into the slipstream of Cohen, coming into the column now. Will look for a move on the Williams. No. Becken tried to have a sniff up the inside of the Mercedes driver, but he can't make it work. And now Frantic on that medium tyre needs to make this move now. A bit of contact made between him and Becken, but he's made his way up into the podium positions, and now he needs to go and attack them two guys up front. Looking further behind, there's a Haas, I think that is, of Ballant holding up a big train of drivers. Dave Raptors involved, going down the inside, which will return to the outside of No Name for Orgio, and he's going to get a bit of contact made between the two of them. Dave Raptors on that medium tyre realistically should be able to... Oh no! Realistically should have been able to make the overtake cleanly and fast, but it looks as though he spun Orgio out.
Unfortunately, the pole sitter has yet had more issues. He drops to the back of the field, and he's got a lot more work to do. It's not an easy day for him right now. It's so tough. There's still a long way to go, over half of the race yet. Jeremy leads the way for the EU drivers. Frantic made it to P3, so brilliant job from him. Fico, Becken, and then we have Flexard, who is looking around the outside, demoting Becken immediately. Brilliant job from him. He makes the job work. He makes it stick. He is through.
Yeah, I mean, Becken just lost multiple places over the last few laps. I mean, over the last lap, I should say, sorry. As those hard tires really not working. 8 laps sold. They're going to be sluggish to anything. They are hards after all. And you can just see the performance just not there at the moment. It's going to allow Terrence on new hard tires. He's been on the receiving end of this before in Hungary, remember. As we look further up ahead, actually, to see Flexard doing the exact same as Jeremy did to his teammate. Coming into the straight now. A bit of contact made. I'm scared these guys might have a bit of an incident if they keep on bump drafting each other into the column. Now a bit more contact is made between the Alpine and Alfa Romeo, sorry, and he just can't seem to find a way through.
Here goes Terrence though. He's just behind. Oh, a little bit of squirmy from the Red Bull, as they were looking so close earlier on just a lap ago, and they're still very close together. Loving life at the moment with the battling, but they want to try and settle into the race and try and gain some time. Will it be possible though? I don't know. Frantic, not able to keep with the top 2 despite being on that softer tyre. Interesting. Jeremy hasn't got DRS range right now of Cohen, so it's not like he's got a toe advantage at this stage of the Grand Prix. Not really sure what's going on there. Flexard is the closest driver to making an overtake, furthest up at the moment. Regarding closest driver to actually make an overtake full stop is Dave Raptors, but I would say it's probably Peanuts.
I mean, you can see that's a massive train that goes from, what, P13 all the way to P6, and no other than Becken leading it on that really crappy hard tyre. You can just see how much he's struggling coming through the last few corners. Terrence has to take not avoiding action, but has to be cautious due to such slow speeds that Becken is carrying through the corners. And now onto the Kemble straight in just a moment's time. He just needs to make his way through the source now in a good manner. He gets the power down nicely. And will he be able to make this move? Most definitely. But we need to watch out for someone like Larlick, who might try and take advantage of Becken going slowly and Terrence not being able to get the run. As Larlick actually makes a mistake going off track, has to rejoin nice and smoothly. And we see Terrence going for the move around the outside of Becken, and that's him up into P6.
Brilliant job. We've got more side-by-side action further behind as well. That is the Aston Martin making the move on Larlick. They're into P9. Peanuts, the race winner from the sprint, does make it eventually. And now they've got the next Ferrari to try and hunt down 2-lap fresher tyres compared to these guys. So they should have a decent advantage. They probably won't be able to go to the end of the Grand Prix, but they definitely have a possibility to do so. Would they want to risk it though? I don't think they will. They will be looking at a pit stop.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's no brainer. You do not want to get a puncture because that's your race absolutely finished. As we see a lot of movement in the midfield here. Gilly going for the move on Peanuts. Peanuts managed to hold it around the outside. Coming into the last sector now, Gilly's going to be run off track a little bit as he done to Peanuts just a moment ago. Dave Raptors is going to fly around the outside of the Ferrari up into P9. Gilly's not going to get this up easily though. These guys having a little bit of a rivalry before, and that's going to, well, the slipstream of Peanuts is going to allow Gilly to sling back around the outside. A bit more contact made. Dave Raptors almost losing the car. Coming into the bus stop chicane, who's going to be last in the brakes? Dave Raptor will be able to just get around on the inside of the final corner of the bus stop chicane. Will Gilly get the power down? Unfortunately not for him, and that is Dave Raptors up into P9 finally.
Once again, the champion making phenomenal moves. He's still holding that championship title, and he will not be able to race next season in F1.5 as a permanent driver due to that, so he's making the most of it and showing what he can do. What a season he's having. Still not over though, this race, and that is going to be a massive back out there from JJ. Jaromir going to have to pay the price a little bit and lose his speed as he's at the back of the train. Going to try and look at the Ferrari as well. The other Ferrari is having to go defensive here on Larlick. Larlick didn't go for the move in the end, and he will stay as he is. The Haas driver a little bit offline, but he eventually gets back onto the line. Everybody kind of not gapping, but separating very slightly, and then we've got all of a sudden, as I say that, everybody going side by side again.
Yeah, JJ fling it up the inside of Ballon and Gilly into No Name, going for the move on Larlick. He runs a bit wide, but Larlick just can't make the most of it. JJ putting the Red Bull under pressure now, coming into pull on, but he's not going to be dumb enough to make a move into this corner that's been taken at around about 180. That could be a catastrophic incident if he does. And for now, he's just going to have to slot behind the Red Bull as he makes a bit of a mistake, actually. JJ's going to barge his way through, a bit of contact made, get the muscles out a little bit, and JJ finally manages to make that move. A bit of a slow apex of JJ on that compromised line. Lorick taps him a little bit. Hopefully no damage for the Red Bull. But that's Ferrari up until 11 and 10 working together well.
Continuing as they are, we've got Frantic and Jeremy so close, but Peanuts, as you say, they do go for that move. Becken is going to have to let that one go. Jeremy is into the pit lane, interestingly. I did not expect that one already on that hard tyre.
Maybe not feeling the pace at all. I mean, we've seen that. I mean, a lot of the tyres are struggling. It only looks like the soft tyres are able to get fired up in the early stages. As we see Dave Raptors and Becken going for it once again. Dave Raptors manages to fling it around the outside like it's nobody's business, and that's him up into P7. He won't get the DRS, unfortunately, on Peanuts, so that's going to leave him susceptible to the Alpine driver once again. Up for Rouge and Radion. He's going to get the slipstream, he's going to get the DRS. FICO flies past Frex hard, and that looks as though it's going to be the same for another Alpine going up the inside of Dave Raptors, and he seems to not be happy about something.
Ooh, not
Flexard.
Happy about that. Flexard is into the wall, lost the car. That's very easily done. He maybe just misjudged the dirty air. The safety car was deployed, and that is both Germans out of the Grand Prix. That is such a shame to see both of these guys doing a phenomenal job and then losing it all of a sudden. I don't know what to say. I'm stating what I can. Emotions and words will not be enough. That is such a shame from those guys there. More DNFs to their names. Safety car will come out though, and the strategies will be jumbled up. We are exactly, just over halfway through the race, I should say. So medium tyres, I guess, to the end.
Yeah, I think medium tyres will probably be the case. There might be someone who might try soft, who knows why. Jeremy, can we just say, rest in peace to his chances of winning this race. He is down in P14. The safety car just came out and he was looking to get an undercut on other people, or maybe just pushing to the end on fresher tyres. And now everyone's going to get a free spin stop ahead of him.
Maybe he'll just be so good in the future that we needed to try and stop him from winning at least this race. So we can avoid Mercedes dominance. Maybe it's just the game trying to be nice. I assume so. You know, there's no other explanation than that. It's just fate. It has to happen. Oh, but with Terence in the pit lane at the moment, everybody is into the pit lane, and it should be a somewhat straightforward strategy situation. That being said, that is going to be Peanuts having to stack with their teammate. So unfortunately he's going to drop down a little bit further than he would have done usually, I assume. That is going to be Larlick on the softs.
Well, Dave Raptors needs to chill it, man. I've just seen him come out the pit lane and he's had a massive swapper. I don't know how he's not hit the ball on DNF, honestly. I don't know what's wrong with him today. He seems to just not be on it like he usually is. And that nearly was him out the race.
Of course he lost it last time around in Hungary, as he finally got into the lead of the Grand Prix and then crashed out, so his first DNF in a while. He was losing it a few times back, all the way back in Spain, so throughout the season he's just been using those twitchy setups, which has kind of been a bit of a curse. He's won the championship with them, but they are like not easy to drive. I guess he's used to them, because otherwise he wouldn't have won the championship, but really making it scary for everybody else around him. I guess in certain scenarios it can be an advantage, because if there is a car behind you, they see you lose the car, they'll back off, and then you can just break away a little bit. But it's not the safest way to drive a race.
I might start doing that, you know, just losing the back end. When I see someone close behind me, so they back off, and then I can get away from DRS. It might not be a bad idea, actually. You know?
It's a strategy.
Maybe Jeremy.
It's
Maybe
true.
Jeremy can use that.
Wait, how's he got to P4?
Because obviously he pitted and under the safety car. I know that the Delta is a bit wacky, of course, but he managed to somehow get up into P4, and I said rest in peace to the chances of winning, but he's still in P4. Now, if he proves me wrong, I'm going to look like a right clown.
He defies the physics of, or the logic of safety cars coming out after you've pitted. That's like completely mind-boggling. I don't know how he's done that. But anyway, he's done it. We've got Cohen, who's going to be leading the way for, I wanted to say the safety car restart, but for some reason we haven't got confirmation yet. And we're going to continue for a lap. Why is that?
Maybe because Mylander wants to get some few laps under his belt, you know. I mean, he's got a lot in F1.5, I must tell you that. But who knows, man? Maybe just the game not thinking the record is cleared, even though it probably most definitely is. Well, actually, maybe not, considering it was a big crash into the wall. So maybe it's trying to simulate that.
Maybe, unless he's just a selfish guy. He just wants to get the stat for the most laps led in the season. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, he can do what he wants as long as he doesn't stay out even longer. Then that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Sorry guys for the wait. We should have been racing just a moment ago. It does mean that it's going to be good news for Lalek, I'd say, but not good news regarding his time penalty, because it does mean that the grid will still be bunched up. We will continue just for a few more moments. And yeah, then we'll be going racing once again. Will Dave Raptors be able to return to the top step? Will Ogier be able to make an absolute mega comeback and try and get 2 wins in a row? Will Jeremy win for the first time ever? Will Frantic win for the first time ever? Will they be able to make history for the first time? That would be awesome to see. Frantic's had quite a few hard races in the past, despite showing great pace. So I think it's about time that he gets his way. Will it happen at this Grand Prix? Not quite his home race, but not too far away either from his home country. It wouldn't be bad at all. He's got his fellow countryman Cohen in front of him, and also FICO as well right behind him. So it's a Dutch 1-2-3 at the moment.
Well, you're talking about Frantic. You can't talk about Frantic without talking about his teammate Pursuit. Frantic, for you guys who might not know, helped Pursuit to that title back. Was it last season or the season before? I can't exactly remember. But he had such a big role in that, helping his teammate throughout the weeks, trying to get him up to pace and stuff like that, helping him set ups and stuff. And now this is Frantic's time with Pursuit absent. Obviously, he's racing in F1 now as a reserve. This is his time to shine and prove to everyone else why he should be the one to win.
He'll be reacting to Cohen on the restart. Green flags will be shown shortly. And yeah, equal tyres. Nowhere to hide. Pure pace, pure setup. Who's got the best setup? Who's got the best pace? Who's got the best consistency? Who can stay within track limits as well all the way to the end of the Grand Prix? Cohen, when will he go for it? The safety car comes around the final corner now. He can go at any point from this moment. He goes for it already. Once again, just before Blanchimont, as the other cars have done. Frantic doesn't react too badly at all, so he will be in a pretty decent position. Everybody else in a bit of a situation. I was hoping that wasn't going to be an Alpine in the back of the McLaren there. They do manage to make their breaking point in the end. So there we go.
Sorry, Dave Ratner's coming at the last corner again, making a mistake. I need to stop talking about it because we're going to be at this all day otherwise. But coming out the last corner, making a big mistake, and we can see Cohen already 7 tenths ahead of Frantic. He's going to be put under pressure from FICO. Jeremy not too far behind. Terrence with a bad initial restart, managed to claw it back. Not too bad for him, up into P5. Dave Raptor's the champion though. He's been out and out the quickest driver the whole season. Let's talk about this. FICO on Frantic coming into the chicane, and he just about pulls the car up, and he makes a position up into P2.
Let him go, pretty straightforward. There's a long way to go in this Grand Prix, and the top 2 are higher tier drivers after all. So he's actually leading the Grand Prix for the current tier drivers. I think he's probably thought about that and just kind of let it happen. So all he needs to do is worry about Jeremy. He's leading the Grand Prix. He is leading his first well, he's not his first race. He's leading and possibly looking at the win for the first time ever, and Jeremy even more so looking for a win on debut, and that is very special if you can get it done. And I'm not going to talk about the obvious because it would boost Zingy's ego too much if I do. Yet again, that is Dave Raptors, and like we said, we don't want to talk about it too much, but he's done it again, lost the rear. Just about kept in a straight line. An easy place to lose the rear at. I actually did it not too long ago and almost ruined my entire race, but he keeps it in the wall. He's a lot more skilled than me. Fair enough to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are more skilled than you are in at driving. I mean, I know you like to taste concrete, but I can tell you one thing, it does not get you to the checkered flag quickly enough. As we see Dave Raptors having obviously those issues, but he still manages to have pace. Perhaps, maybe it's not the setup being pointy, but maybe overheating. I'm not too sure. It's whatever it is, we just need to go with it. His Terrence is going to be put under pressure from the McLaren up our original radio, and you can see carrying good pace through there, but Dave Raptors is going to use a bit of that battery. Terrence using some just so he can stay ahead at the moment and might have a chance at overtaking Jeremy into the calm, but he's going to stay behind for the moment. Dave Raptors, you can just see how much speed he's able to carry through his corners, flying the car in, and it just points wherever he wants. Peanuts, on the other hand, is having a go at Becken for P7. Into the hairpin we go now, a bit of contact made between the two. Becken gets forced off wide a bit, manages to just keep it on track and out of the wall, and that's going to allow JJ to perhaps get a move.
That was actually 2 moments of contact there between the two friends. They might not be friends for the rest of the Grand Prix though, as there was a little, not aggressive, but just clumsy, not move from either driver. They were just misjudging the space, both of them the same. So what a shame for them. And that is Ogio and Gunter both far behind now after some issues. So yet again, more tough times for these guys in this season and in this Grand Prix, but it is what it is. You've got to look past it, unfortunately. Dave Raptors sitting closest behind the other cars, but still not able to make a move just yet in a massive train that these guys are running. That being said though, Jeremy's actually split it up, and this is going to allow Frantic to have an easier time looking at winning this race.
Yeah, Terrence putting Jeremy under pressure. Perhaps he's feeling it in his debut. As Terrence is going to perhaps maybe look for the move, but remember that guy of Dave Raptors was right behind him. He's absolutely rapid, one of the fastest cars at the moment. You can just tell there's a bit of a lag going on there. Jeremy teleports up the load a little bit. However, that's not going to affect Terrence or Dave Raptors too much. We see Gunter retiring in the pit lane. Thankfully, there won't be a saved car for that. And Terrence, while he go for the move, that battery is being used. DRS is available. He's going to go down the inside and he's going to clear the Mercedes before it even gets into the Lecom, and Dave Raptors just going to follow him through. So his initial plan was to probably just get rid of Dave Raptors for the time being, alleviate some pressure, but no, he's still there.
Still there indeed. He is still there indeed. He's like a cockroach, not quite so much as Gilly there.
Well, you should have seen that. He just lost fucking again. I keep on repeating it. I do apologise, but I feel as though one of these times he will just snap and spin or something like that. Because it's a bit scary seeing it from the onboard. Of course, driving yourself, it would be a bit easier to see that that's not going to happen. But from a spectator point of view, it looks so everything's just kind of going a bit haywire.
Unfortunately, Jaromir lost the car. He dropped down a little bit. There was a big gap between Lalek and JJ. I don't know if that was anything to do with it or if there was just a gap anywhere. I cannot remember. I do not go that far. I am basically having the memory of Dory. I do apologise for that. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Jeremy P6, as it's not the place that he wants to be in this Grand Prix, but he's got laps to try and make it. We are coming to the closing stages though, so he's got to think about the end game of the race. If you're a chess fan, you want to try and think about the final basically 2 laps around this circuit. I'd say usually 3 laps, but 2 laps around this circuit, looking to deploy your ERS and give it absolutely everything, make other cars make mistakes if you can put the pressure on. Still, there's time to think about things, so they just need to plan it now.
Yeah, Dave Raptors managing to get the DRS off Terrence, I think. Yeah, he just about got it. A few tenths. You see Peanuts, the teammate of Terrence, he's going to go flying down the inside of Jeremy. I don't know where he's come from over his last few laps. He just seemed to appear out of nowhere magically, and now he's going to be putting Dave Raptors under pressure if he can just make the move on Jeremy, which he can, and that's a great move. That's an up in a P6, and I believe P4 for the EU drivers.
think it might be. 1, 2.
Yeah, because Frantic's leading though.
Yes, it will be. P4. Very good job indeed. Basically, offset by 2 positions is the entire grid. Frantic doesn't have DRS. Terrence is in DRS in P2 at the moment. Dave Raptors. That does mean he's looking for the podium and fighting for the win. It could all change up on the final few laps. Just depends on who is the least nervous, basically. There's a bit of a train further behind with about 3 cars, but they're not going to be close enough to be in the battle for the win unless these guys battle so hard that they lose all that time. But it's very unlikely. We'll see if anything can change a little bit later on though. Frantic leads the way and he will be having pressure from Terrence within the next few sectors, I would say.
Yeah, Terrence is looking for his first race win, so is Frantic. Dave Raptor's looking to add to a plethora of wins he's had so far this and last season. Coming through the last corner now, it looks so, yeah, he's still struggling with that issue. It's ongoing throughout the whole race. He said in chat earlier on that it was something to do with brake balance, so perhaps maybe just locking the rears and fronts and can't seem to find a middle ground. So that's the issue that he's dealing with at the moment. Terrence, on the other hand, the only issue he's got is a car in front of him, and he sure wants to get ahead of Frantic as quick as he can. He's been so quick this race, and it might be the chance for him to take the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. He's going to use a bit of that battery, reaching 250 mph as he flies past Frantic. Will Dave Abbott just go for the move? No, he won't. This is big for Aston Martin and Terrence in the championship. If he can get this win, that could propel Aston Martin up the order, as we see Frantic is separating him and Dave Raptors. The ultimate challenge is to beat him, because it's almost been impossible this season. With a few issues this race, he seems to not be on the front foot.
Lovely jubbly. The man from Hong Kong, I think, is going to be the first ever driver looking to win from the Asia continent. Can he get it done? This will be absolutely phenomenal. It will be history. It will be... What a job if he can get it done. I hope he can. Let's see. I don't want to jinx it. Peanuts is going to be right behind. He's made his way through the sprint race winner. He still, believe it or not, after the race he's had, has an opportunity to actually look at getting the double here this evening. It's never over until it's over. It is never over. Audio might come back in a minute, we'll see. But yeah, everyone's close together. Someone was looking for a move. Bit of a look from Peanuts, but a bit of a mistake there for Dave Raptors. Peanuts is so strong. He's got the pressure, and he has to make sure that he doesn't make any more mistakes, because he's got that DRS. He's got the advantage. It should be easy to defend from the car behind, but it's just not quite there. Big mistake though from Peanuts, and he's going to get that struggle for the rest of the straight.
Yeah, you need to make sure you get a good run off of turn 1, because that momentum's going to carry through this whole straight. I'm not sure how long it is, but it's an absolutely massive straight. Your foot to the floor for so much of it. Looks as though Frantic is going to go for the move back into the lead of the Grand Prix. You can see Dave Raptors approaching at terminal velocity. It looks like Terrence places his car absolutely perfectly, a little bit darting to the left hand side, but not too much to compromise his line, and that's him down into P2. Frantic, of course, P1 at the moment. Dave Raptors again making another mistake. And Terrence is just setting himself up, perhaps, for that last lap where he needs to go for it. Speaking of going for it, here comes Peanuts on Dave Raptors. He needs to go defensive, Dave, coming out of no name. Another snap of oversteer. He's losing the car all over the place all the time. And Peanuts is getting sick of it. He's getting so mad, and I can understand why. He just tries to make his way through, and at the moment he can't.
We go on board with Jeremy at the moment. He's right behind watching this, just trying to spot a way through. But when you've got 2 cars making a wall as they fight each other, it's not that easy to make a move. Now, hopefully Peanuts didn't get damage from that, but he's going to probably try and push for it. Maybe a little bit more of an unusual place if he can. But Dave Raptors is all of a sudden pushing for the move. I think he might give it a go on Terrence at the moment already into the bus stop. Goes to the outside line. Nope, he couldn't make his mind up. Terrence is going to go to the inside. Frantic's going to be right there. And taking an incredibly alternate line was looking Dave Raptors. But no, Peanuts spotted the opportunity. Wasn't going to let him relax. He's going to bring Jeremy into it. They're going to be side by side, and somehow he's losing it on the straight. Diving back to the inside to look at both Aston Martins. It's going to be massive contact. There's a car out. Peanuts is out on lap 21 out of 22. No safety car will be deployed. I don't understand what just happened there. And now Frantic is looking at a phenomenal opportunity to winning this race. I think he might get it done.
Terrence with the DRS, of course, is going to come into late column under pressure again from Dave Raptors. There's been so much drama this race as Beckham goes for the move and he's gone miles off track. I don't know what's happening there. And Terrence, does he have a bit of damage perhaps with that contact made with him, Dave Raptors, and whoever else it was? Frantic is 7 tenths ahead. And I just want to mention, Aaron, that I've been watching Terrence a little bit, and his braking into the bus stop chicane when he's in clear is absolutely phenomenal. Frantic is 8 tenths ahead. If Terrence needs to push his heart out to win this race, he might not know it at the moment, but he is, yes, fighting for that win. Coming into the last few corners for the penultimate time, it looks so Frantic has got it under control for the time being. Dave Raptors a little bit further behind. He needs to be careful to not make a mistake. If he were to make a mistake now, it could be catastrophic, and that could be his chances of winning over.
Could very well be. Frantic just has one more lap really to try and hold off for this win. Terrence 8 tenths behind. That is not a good gap to look at making an overtake. It's not over until it's over, as we have said. There could be mistakes. Everybody's tyres are getting pretty old now. Yet Jeremy is putting the pressure on Dave Raptors, and Dave Raptors, he is looking like he's very vulnerable. That being said, on the exit, he's done a phenomenal job, and oh my days, JJ is in the battle. All of this battling has allowed him to catch up. He does unfortunately have a time penalty, so it wouldn't really be worth him actually fighting for anything, but it is what it is. Frantic, one final time he has to defend. He's got no ERS to use in that car. DRS will be used. A very small amount of ERS is available. Terrence is going to lead the Belgian Grand Prix on the final lap. He's timed it to perfection. How the hell has he done that? Jeremy's going to be round. He's going to be around into Le Com, and he will lose it all on the final lap on debut, looking for the podium finish. It will never happen in the end. Terrence, he's got one half a lap to go. Is it going to work out? And will he win his first ever Grand Prix? Will he be the first one to make history in Asia? I think he can get it done. Dave Raptors, he's right there. He's got the pace. Does he have the energy to do so? He has a little bit. It might just be enough around a circuit like this, where a slipstream is so important.
Frantic makes a bit of a mistake coming through the chicane, and this is Terrence's chance. He's got a few more corners left. He needs to use all the battery. It looks as though Frantic's run wide, and that's going to give Dave Raptors a chance to make the overtake for P2 on the last lap. No battery for anyone. Dave has a bit of spare. It looks as though he's going to make the move down the inside of Frantic on the last lap for P2. But coming through the last few corners now, who's going to get it? Well, Frantic go for the move around the outside of Dave Raptors. He can't get the braking power down. He's made a mistake. He's actually spun, and that's going to allow Terrence to win his first ever race and make history, the first Asian to ever win a Grand Prix. Dave Raptors finally, after all that struggle, gets P2, and Beckham out of nowhere snatches the podium off of Frantic, who tried so hard, but it just wasn't enough towards the end.
That is such a shame to see Frantic down the order, but I don't care what the game says. Driver of the day to Terrence. He has waited a long, long time for this. This is incredible. I do not know what to say. He is going to be so happy. I hope we have time for an interview. We will have just about enough time to get one interview in, and we will go on board. We will try and get it from this man if we can. So we'll get the results on the screen. He gets driver of the day, very well deserved. We will be back as quick as we can for the post-race interviews, of course. There he is on the top, there he is in P3, but overall for the EU drivers, he will get that win. We have Cohen taking the win, Fico in P2, then Terrence winning his first ever Grand Prix for the EU drivers. Dave Raptors, Beckin, Frantic, JJ, Gilly, Ballant, Jeremy, Lalik Yaramir Ogyo, Peanuts DNFing still being classed as finished, followed by Gunter, Flexard, and Tom Brainer. Race director, as usual, we should double check through everything. The instance section, of course, we need to make sure that we get that in, and then we'll go into the pit stops as well, as usual, just in case. And then we'll be back for the post-race interviews. We will see you in a minute, just getting one final look at the standings. Of course, we want to make sure we get all those time penalties in. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the post-race interviews for the F1.5 EU Championship. Sorry to make this so quick, but we don't have too much time, unfortunately. We're going to start the interviews with Tom Brainer. Tom, that was such a tough race. I'm so sorry to see that one happen, but do you think you had pace to maybe go for the win this weekend?
Yeah, I felt like I've got the pace overall. I mean, I fought in the sprint race for the win. But I don't know why I've got so much problems with the grip in the main race and oversteered without getting any feedback and just hit the wall. And the win was definitely possible. But the funny thing is my PT crashed 1 minute later after I was out of the race, so I don't know what would have been, so I'm happy with my pace, and let's see how it goes in Austria.
Austria, do you think you can win the Grand Prix? Straights and braking zones?
It's one of my top 3 tracks, kind of likeness, and I feel like I'm pretty good on it, so maybe my next podium and the first in this league. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Let's hope we can get some good momentum from you, Tom. Thank you very much, and good luck next time. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
No grip at all.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today, and thank you for the effort.
Thanks.
And we move on to a brand new race winner. Terence, you have done it for the first time ever. You are the first ever driver to win from the Asia continent. Can you describe your feelings right now?
Actually, I can't describe it for now because my English is not that good, and I have a word is speechless, just speechless.
That's incredible. Did you expect to be able to achieve this result going into the Grand Prix? Was this a strong circuit for you?
No, actually, Spa is not the my favorite track, and my track record is not that good for compete to the top tiers, and but because I have worked sometimes on the strategies and try to collect all the data for the tires and oils consumption. So yeah, it's pretty good to get this result.
Terence, it's paid off. All that work, you've done it. It's late at night, but it finally it is worth it. Well done. Austria, do you like that circuit? Do you think you can get 2 wins in a row?
Nope, I'm not that confident, or yeah, because I know where should I be.
You should
I
be
just
at the top step. You've proved it today. You should be at the top step. You'll be absolutely fine. Terence, thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
because today is my birthday, so I would call it a miracle birthday.
That is incredible. That is incredible. Happy birthday, Terence. Thank you very much. The dedication has finally worked. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Thank you, thank you.
That's been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much. Sorry to cut it short. We will see you next weekend for the finale in Austria. Absolutely incredible result for this man right here, Terence. He's done it. We'll see you later. Good night.